Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Wednesday the 28th of January and this video is for educational purpose only. I'm just trying to read the market using technical analysis and my experience and trying to teach you guys a little bit. So let's get cracking. In the US market we had Amazon pushing higher, 2.7% yesterday, and as we can see here it is about the cloud. Bullish sentiment or positive sentiment indicating likely higher levels on Amazon. So it's currently Amazon that's lifting the market a little bit higher, but it was also the semiconductors, but here we can see Amazon is likely to push higher here. Bullish trends all around. Looking at the semiconductors, we can also see that was the wrong one. Hang on. Let's move on to the actual. Here it is. There we are. Almost new all-time highs on the semiconductors, and it was not that much driven by Nvidia. Only 1.6%, 1.26% higher yesterday. Still below the cloud. Still slightly negative sentiment. It needs to get back above the cloud. It needs to get back above 193.60. Free here, then I think we will see a bullish trend being established. The overall index, Nasdaq 100, yesterday closed above a key resistance here. It has tried a couple of times being knocked down, but now it's back up after this bounce here off the 100 moving average in the lower part of the cloud, and we could now be set for higher levels. There's just one little thing that is troubling me a little bit. RSI testing 60 threshold here, didn't close above. We need to have it closed above for a further upside, for confirmation of this bullish trend. But I think we will see it playing out. We can see here on the future, the index future, if it wants to come out, here we are, which is currently above the 60 threshold. And the Nasdaq future is pushing towards the peak here on all-time highs back from, when was that, October last year, 26,399. And we are about to test that very shortly. We could do that today. Let's see about it. But it indicates a very quite strong uptrend now. That could take us towards 27,300, maybe 28,000 here. And I think we will peak short term to medium term in late February, early March. I think we will see fairly strong market moves until then. So, but of course we are in the earnings season, early stages. There can still be a little bit of turmoil depending on the earnings that will be released. The S&P 500 new all-time high close. It's a little bit higher here than over here. It also spiked a little bit higher here, and we are already in a positive sentiment indicating likely higher levels, and I could see the S&P 500 pushing towards 7,200 here within the next few weeks, as long as it stays above 6,800. Here we have pre-market. This is the future. It's trying to break above, and it currently slightly above the resistance there. So you can see it's also back above the rising trend line here. So the wedge-like pattern and target only reached a little bit lower than 38.2 retracement. So that was a false breakout possibly. Russell 2000 index basically still a little bit cautious here. We have this top reversal in place, but we haven't had it follow through with establishing a bearish trend. So that's still some strength could come into the small caps again, but it seems like maybe we're switching a little bit to the bigger caps once again. In Asia this morning we had a strong move, about 2.5% up on the Hang Seng. We tested it yesterday, the resistance there. Now we are pushing higher, and 28,000 is likely to be tested here, possibly this week. I think we'll see it pushing higher in the coming weeks. So really strong move there also on the Hang Seng. and we have to go back really fairly further back to the 2021, where we see some resistance just around 29,290. Nikkei, also fairly good day today. Here's the Nikkei future pushing higher. It hasn't reached its previous peak there yet, but I think it will do it the next few days. Here we can see it bounced off the rising trend line. I think we will see a push higher above 55,000. In the European market, the EuroStoxx50 tested the 786 retracement at 6,000 yesterday, closed just below it, but I think we will see EuroStoxx also pushing higher and also making new all-time highs here fairly soon. Outside back above 60 threshold, further confirming the bullish trend. And we can see here pre-market we are pushing higher here on the futures / the CFD, very close to taking out or testing the peak there, and I think we'll see it being taken out possibly today, but I feel quite confident it will happen this week. Again, it's not a recommendation of any sort. DAX a little bit lower yesterday, but not much to talk about. But what is happening today? We are slightly unchanged on the DAX future. So what is driving it in EuroStoxx this morning? I'm not quite sure. It could be some banks, it could be some other industries. So let's see about that when market opens here in about, when this is recorded, in about half an hour or so. On the FX market, a lot of activity late in the session last night, suddenly just before closing price, or closing, but let's look at what happened. Suddenly it just took off here. It started in the morning throughout the European session, paused a little bit, and then suddenly here late in the evening, 9 p.m. European time, CET time, suddenly it just took off. So a massive move there on euro dollar yen, and other pairs. We're going to look at it in a minute. We reached more than 200% of this little correction here. But what is interesting is what's happening on the medium term. Here we have the weekly, this triangle correction here, and now we could extend it, be measuring from the bottom to the top of it, adding to the breakout price, and reached almost 61.8 retracement or projection or extension, if you will, at 121. So a really strong move. And if we're looking at the even bigger picture, let's have a look at the monthly. Look at this entire downtrend, this falling trend line here. If we broke above it in April last year, it took a little bit of time, and now it's taking off again here. And I think we'll see a push up to the resistance area, these peaks here around 124, 125, and that could be within the next, maybe next few weeks or a couple of months maybe. On the sterling dollar, as we can see here, also on the monthly, also pushing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and a new higher high here on the monthly. So also a strong move there on the sterling dollar, or cable as it used to be called. We can see here on the daily where it pushed yesterday above the resistance there, above this peak there, and trading around 130. 138 at the moment, and it seems set for higher levels. There will be a little bit of setback, I could believe, but I don't think it will be that big. So let's have a look at what we'll do if I do a little bit of Fibonacci on this. See that Fibonacci 38.2 is all the way down here. Not quite sure we'll get back to there, but if it does, then I think we'll bounce off and then take off once again. Euro sterling. Little bit activity to there, where we saw the euro sterling testing again, once again, the falling trend line. These supports here around 86.5 still holding on. The 200 moving average is adding to the support. RSI still negative sentiment. So it's a little bit on limbo. Should I move higher or should I move lower? You can see the 55 moving average coming down there, kind of boxing it in. So it's a little bit to the downside, I would say. So Moving on to yen pairs that really got the dollar yen yesterday. Massive sell-off continued also European session and late in the US session too. And it went all the way back to the 38.2 retracement. And which retracement is, it's basically from the entire uptrend here since April 2025 that measured to just around 152, just above that level here, spiked a little bit lower, 152s at 17. So now we could maybe see a little bit of a bounce, but the cat is out of the box, and we are likely to push lower. We could see lower levels, or will we now see a bounce? And let's add a Fibonacci to it. It could bounce maybe back up to 154. I'm not quite sure of it. We are in a bearish trend, negative sentiment indicating likely lower levels. But in the bigger picture, it's not that big a move. Of course, it's a move, but again, it's just a sudden move there, as we can see. So, but the bigger picture on the monthly, we can see it's not that significant, of course. But it could start a trend that really could turn around, and as we can see, 151.20 where we have some support, and 150 down here where we have stronger support with the 200 daily moving average coming up. Euro yen was more quiet, to say the least. Still testing the 55 moving average, the upper part of the cloud, and the minor support there at 182.60. So still holding on, but there is, as we can see, divergence here on the RSI indicating uptrend exhaustion. The Aussie yen, also a little bit of volatility, but not much. So here yesterday bounced off the just above the rising trend line and the 786 retracement there, just around 106. Could bounce further, and if you're a very short-term trader and think maybe it will bounce a little bit further, then you can add a Fibonacci very short term to this move here. We are bouncing a little bit, could bounce up to the 61.8 at 107.87, possibly higher. And if it takes out the peak there at just around 109, well, then uptrend is being extended. Sterling yen also testing the support there, 209.80. Dipping a little bit below. If it takes out the lows here from the past few days, then I think we could see a dip to around 207.5, 207. Uptrend exhaustion also indicating there, so we are stalling a little bit. So keep an eye on what's going on the lows there from the past few days. Aussie dollar, also massive move here the past week or so. A little bit extended now here. We are in overbought territory. We are above 80. 82, 83 on the RSI, and remember it can only go to 100, and never seen it to 100. On the weekly, we can see how it's broken above the spike up there and resistance with ease at 69.40.45, and we could be headed for the 71 area. These spikes up there, that is in the cards. Bullish trend, bullish sentiment on the weekly RSI too. Dollar Canada. Also massive sell-off here. The opposite, basically massive sell-off here yesterday, and it went straight through the all these Fibonacci levels after trading around the 786. Went straight through the lows here and support, and went down to 135.50, 55 support. And if we zoom out a little bit, we can see it's coming over here from these lows here. So around there, it found some support, and we could see maybe a little bit of bounce up to the 136.50, maybe 40. The lows here in this region here, so after it broke out. But also here we are in a bearish trend. We could see further bounce, but the overall trend is down. You can see the 55 down, moving average moving down, the 100 and the 200 also, and they are a bit far away from each other, and they won't be that for long, but they were catching up by both a bounce, but also those we catch up to the downside. We can also see here on the weekly, it is below the 200 weekly moving average, and negative sentiment indicating likely lower levels on dollar Canada. Sterling Canada, And let's just have a look at the daily chart, and let's resize it a little bit. Trading around 786, retracement here being knocked down after reaching 188. A little bit of correction kicking in, but we are in a bullish trend, positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels, and I think we will see it crawling higher towards the 189, and a bit up here in the coming weeks. Also move in Swiss franc. Euro Swiss spiked lower to the 176.4 projection and the 91.50 below that here overnight, after taking out the support there, taking out that support over here, where it's currently trading, trying to get back above. So again, if you're a very short-term trader, you could say, all right, I think we will see a bigger bounce, really, some profit taking, and a bounce here, maybe even up to around 92.20, but the trend is down, and the both on short term and medium term, as you can see here, it's been down for quite some time. It's basically just following through. And if we are moving to the monthly chart, we can see, well, here we have the 2015 incident, where massive move lower there. The dollar Swiss, also massive move yesterday. Let's just zoom in and see what happened really. Massive move, 200% of this correction move here, and it reached that, and then it's bounced, and it's bouncing at this morning. Could bounce further towards 77. Will it maybe bounce up to the 38.2 retracement at 77.65? It's not unlikely, really. But the bigger picture, and let's have a look at the bigger picture on the monthly, we can see, well, we are below the 2015 spike down there, and we are also in the region of 2000 level, but 2015 really significant move here, and you can see bearish trend, negative sentiment, both short term, medium term, and longer term on dollar Swiss, indicating lower levels. Basically the same picture on the dollar index. Massive move yesterday, bouncing a little bit, but it also reached 200% of this correction there. Took out the lows from back here on September last year. Could bounce a little bit, and so I put it Fibonacci on it here, and you can see from the bounce maybe up to 96.87, but I'm not quite sure about that. I think it will drop further here in the coming days and weeks, and we can see here on the monthly what's really going on. It is taking out the rising trend line there, and some will argue it should be from here, but nevertheless, where are we? Right there. It has taken out that rising trend line, and we could be headed for lower levels. We have currently, if the week and the month also ends around these lower levels here, then we have further established and confirmed bearish trend. Already negative sentiment on the RSI on the monthly, and also here on the weekly. As you can see, taking out these two lows there is really a significant move for the dollar index. So there are lower levels in store for the dollar index. Gold, on the other hand, is pushing higher again this morning here in Asia, almost 2% up compared to yesterday, pushing higher. And I have extended this extension here that measured from the peak to the lows, or from the lows or bottom of the triangle-like pattern, and then added to the breakout price, and we reached 200% here yesterday, and now we are headed higher, possibly up to 4,000. I'm babbling, sorry about that. Up to 5,465, the 261.8 projection or extension of this correction move here. And here on the weekly, we can see how it's really pushing higher. It has broken above its falling trend line, indicating likely higher levels. And here we can see also on the daily, it is setting new highs on the RSI. If it stays above here throughout the day, then it's cancelled that, and there's more in store for gold on the medium-term trend also. So 54, 5,500 area seems likely. Moving on to the silver. That's interestingly enough hasn't made a new all-time high. It did it a couple of days ago, and then a massive sell-off, and then we are seeing it trying to push back higher again. And I think it will succeed. I think it will push higher, and we can use that energy from yesterday. No, not yesterday, from 2 days ago to measure where will it possibly move to, and it could possibly move up to around the 125. I think it will surpass that, but 129, maybe even higher, could be seen here in the coming days if it takes out the peak there we had a couple of days ago. Platinum is lagging a little bit, dipping lower, testing the lower rising trend line there, but it also seems likely that it will push higher if it can take out this bearish engulfing, which is actually top and reversal. That will be key the next few days. If it can do that, then we can find a new target price just above 3100. That's with the first one, and possibly higher on platinum. Copper still trading around the 61.8 retracement there. I think it will push higher eventually. If it takes out the peak up there at 603.35, well, then I think we'll see also RSI back above 60 threshold, and we will see higher levels on copper. Crude oil on the move yesterday, and now testing once again the 6260 key resistance. We are currently above the 200 moving average. Positive sentiment on the RSI. I think we will see WTI crude oil up in the region around $66 fairly shortly. Brent crude oil was above and broke above its resistance here at 66.78 yesterday. Also pushing higher. I think we'll see Brent crude oil towards 70 in the coming days and weeks, and you can see what's going on. It seems like it's breaking its falling trend. You can see higher. The highs here are lower and lower, and the lows here are lower and lower, but it's a very strong counter trend. I think we'll see it pushing higher here in the coming days. European nat gas setting back after being rejected up here at 42.5 area. We have some corrections going on at the moment. Could take it down to 37.14, possibly lower down to around 35.40. We are a little bit stressed here, and I think we will sit back further. So some interesting development on the nat gas yesterday. I thought, what the heck is going on here with suddenly move, and it went fast, and it was actually a future rollover really. So, and let's have a look at the so it was the February future that was closed, and now we are trading the March future, and you can see the March future didn't get all the way up to the 7.5 area. So where the February future was trading, now it is the March future. You can see here the March future never get back. Of course, it bounced strongly, but it didn't get up there. So we have what we call backwardation. So that's what's happening when they don't want to buy, or they don't want to pay as much for the March future. They actually expect the demand for gas to retrace quite a bit in the coming month in March and in April. Moving on to the interest rate and yields. We have the US 10-year bouncing off the 420 support there, but we are in a bullish trend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs and a higher low. And I think we will see here in the coming weeks, going into February, we will see higher levels of the US 10-year. 435 is a next level, and but I think we'll see both 440 and 445 here in the coming months. In the in the euro yields, we have the EU 10-year setting back here from the morning. It didn't take out the 292. We should be happy about that here in Europe, but still we are in a bullish trend. It's just about when I think before it breaks higher, but it needs to take out these peaks here for a push really higher above 292. Rising trend line, observe a test of that could be seen. The UK 10 hasn't just opened yet, it seems, here this morning. So key resistance there at 454. That should be observed. The Japanese 10 setting back a little bit this morning here, but still in a bullish trend, still above the rising trend line. But it is quite a stress, so maybe we could see a little bit further setback. Bitcoin still holding up above 84,400, and we are slightly bearish counter trend here, negative sentiment, but this is a key level if it takes out 20. I don't know why I say 24, but 84,400. Well, then we could see a massive sell-off hitting the crypto. Same picture on the Ethereum. We have some support here at 2770, and really a key one down there at 2637. All right, that's all for today. A little bit of a long one, but there's a lot of stuff to discuss. So be careful out there, especially in the dollar, in the yen pairs, and in the dollar Swiss, and also in the metals. We can see quite significant move. Have a nice day, and talk to you again tomorrow.